The House will come to order. Members, our prayer today will be given by Jolie Jackson. She is an 11th grader at Morgan Academy in Selma. She is also the youth president of the National Advisory Board of Foot Soldiers Park. She is a guest of Representative Chestnut.
Will you please bow your heads? Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, we come boldly before your throne. Thank you for this day. Lord, I thank you for the day in which you have made. I thank you that we shall rejoice and be glad in it. Lord, we just lift up our government and leaders to you right now in the name of Jesus. Lord, I thank you for this body. Lord, I thank you for our president, for our nation. Lord, I just plead wisdom and peace over it right now in the name of Jesus. Lord, I thank you for each and every branch of our military. Lord, I ask that you will protect it right now in the name of Jesus. Lord, I thank you for Israel, Lord. I just ask that your angels will surround its citizens, Lord. I just pray for every decision and every decision maker. Lord, I thank you that wisdom comes from it. Lord, I thank you that peace. Lord, I just speak unity over each and every person here. I thank you that each and every person who walks through this door will know the responsibility and the weight that their decision holds. It is in Jesus' name that I do pray. Amen.
Amen. Members today pledge allegiance to be led by Allison Northridge. She is an intern from Sherman Ellis and attends Auburn University, where she is pursuing a degree in political science.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Clerk, call roll.
Mr. Speaker, Albright, Baker, Barnes, Bedsole, Blackshear, Bolton, Boyd, Bracey, Brinyard, Brown, Butler, Carnes, Chestnut, Clark, Klaus, Collins, Colvin, Crawford, Crow, Daniels, Datcher, Drummond, DeBose, Easterbrook, Ellis, England, Ensler, Estes, Faulkner, Fiddler, Fincher, Fort, Garrett, Gidley, Gavan, Givens, Gray, Hall, Hammett, Harrison, Hassel, Hendricks, Hill, Holt-Jones, Hollis, Hulsey, Hurst, Ingram, Jackson, Jones, Keel, Kirkland, Lamb, Lands, Lawrence, Lee, Lipscomb, Lomax, Lovern, Marcus, McCampbell, McClammy, Mooney, Moore M, Moore P, Morris, Myricks, Nelson, Oliver, Paramore, Pascal, Pettis, Pringle, Rafferty, Ream, Reynolds, Rigsby, Robbins, Robertson, Ross, Sellers, Sells, Shaver, Shaw, Shirey, Simpson, Smith, Sorrells, Stahagen, Standridge, Starnes, Stringer, Stubbs, Tillman, Travis, Treadaway, Underwood, Wadsworth, Warren, Witt, Wharton, Wilcox, Wood, Yarborough.
Seventy members advance roll. Quorum is present, and the House is ready to transact business. The chair recognizes Representative Clark for special announced recognition.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and good morning. I appreciate this recognition. Mr. Speaker, I move to suspend the rules to grant floor privileges to the McGill-Tulane Catholic High School championship volleyball team, to its members, their coaches, and their principal is here. Would you please grant them floor privileges?
Any objections? Hearing no objections, floor privileges granted. Representative Clark, you're further recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So as these young ladies and their coaches and principal arrive, I'd like for you to know that the McGill-Tulane Catholic High School Dirty Dozen volleyball team is a dynasty, truly a powerhouse. Until late last year, no other volleyball team in the state had won 4 consecutive Class 7A volleyball championships since the Alabama High School Athletic Association adopted the 7 classification format in 2014. The Dirty Dozen has won straight state 7A titles since the year 2022. In the history of the school, its varsity volleyball team has won an amazing 25 state championships overall. I am so proud of these ladies and delighted that they accepted my invitation to come today to be recognized by this Alabama House of Representatives. I have a resolution which is co-sponsored by my fellow members of the Mobile County Legislative Delegation. And Mr. Speaker, before presenting that frame resolution to them, I would request that the clerk read the resolution, which is HJR 159.
Mr. Clerk, let's read the resolution, please.
Whereas, highest congratulations are herein proudly presented to the McGill-Tulin Catholic High School volleyball team, located in Mobile, Alabama, for winning the 2025 Alabama High School Athletic Association Class 7A State Volleyball Championship. And whereas the team known as the Dirty Dozen defeated Thompson High School 3-1 for its fourth straight Class 7A championship, making history as the first team to win 4 in a row since the AHSAA adopted the 7 classification format. And whereas the victory over the Warriors is the program's 25th volleyball championship, McGill-Tulin finished the 2025 season with an astounding 47-2 record. And whereas the McGill-Tulin Dirty Dozen has been superbly coached and inspired by head coach Kate Wood, who has led the program since 2014, guiding the team to 6 state championships and earning recognition as the NFHS Alabama Coach of the Year in 2024. And whereas under Coach Wood's leadership and with the support of assistant coaches Laura Johnson and Samantha Nichols, the program has sustained a tradition of excellence while emphasizing player development, producing multiple Gatorade Players of the Year and AVCA All-Americans. Now therefore be it resolved by the legislature of Alabama, both houses thereof concurring, that the McGill-Tulin Catholic High School varsity volleyball team is hereby highly commended and congratulated for winning its 4th consecutive AHSAA Class 7A state championship. And this resolution is dedicated to the team with the highest admiration and sincere best wishes for continued success in all future endeavors.
All in favor of approving the resolution, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It has been approved.
Mr.
President Clark.
Speaker, would you please grant Head Coach Kate Wood the opportunity to speak briefly?
Permission is granted.
And before she does, I'd like to acknowledge assistant coaches Laura Johnson. Laura, will you raise your hand? Assistant coach Samantha Nichols. The athletic director, Mr. John Repole, is here with them. And also their brand new principal, Mr. Blake Stein, is here also.
Thank you for having us today. Thank you, Representative Clark. This is a real honor for our program. She gave all the highlights that I had kind of jotted down, but I had 2 thoughts I wanted to share. One is that we teach through losses. That's how we learn a lot. And I started the year by telling these girls, hey guys, we're not going to be undefeated. And I made a mistake. I told them, man, I really wish I wouldn't have said that. So what I learned this year is that I should have just challenged them all the way, like, hey, let's go be undefeated. Those 2 matches that we lost, it was so close. And we maybe could have gone undefeated. So I teased the girls and said, I learned a lesson, that I shouldn't have done that. I should have challenged you for more. And then the other thing I say, just all the amazing things about these girls, is that winning state championships is not easy. And I've asked them as athletes to really hold on to that tight. And it's never supposed to be easy, and that's really what makes it meaningful. And so for casual fans, and some of you might know about volleyball or sports, some of you might not, but for casual fans, they think, oh, it's McGill-Tulin. They always just win. I've really challenged these girls to remember that they have no idea the work that you do in the dark. They have no idea the work you do early in the morning and on the weekend. And never forget that, because that's forming who you are becoming. And it's not supposed to be easy, but it really makes it meaningful. So those are my two big thoughts, and all the wonderful accolades she already gave. I'm so proud to be the head coach of this program, and thank you guys for having us.
So, Mr. Speaker, if I could have my fellow members of the Mobile County Legislative Delegation join me.
Yes, ma'am, absolutely. It's a dirty dozen. It looks like a baker's dozen to me down there.
Here, scooch in this.
The chair recognizes Representative Jackson for a moment of personal privilege.
Mr. Speaker, you got a
Mr.
big
Jackson.
smile on your face this morning.
Yes, I do.
And I mean, I got egg all of mine. Plainview did it to our Aggies, and we congratulate Plainview High School.
Thank you.
Now Friday, tomorrow they playing
Good hope.
Dallas. Good Hope.
That's right.
So anybody here got Good Hope on there?
Cindy Myricks, Representative Myricks.
Well, I'm going to wear Plainview paraphernalia tomorrow.
That's right. You are.
Yes, I am. But while I'm here being serious, congratulations. But we have a moment of silence. We had 6 military armed force members of our great military killed in Kuwait.
Yes, sir. I think that's appropriate.
Thank you so much. Just a moment of silence honoring those 6 fallen heroes. We ask God's mercy upon their souls and strengthen their family members. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Amen. Thank you, Representative Jackson. Chair recognizes the gentleman from Lee, Chairman Lovern.
Mr. Speaker, I request that leaves of absence be granted for absent members.
Any objections? Hearing no objection, absent members are excused. The chair further recognizes the gentleman from Lee, Chairman Lovern.
Mr. Speaker, I have a report.
House of Representatives, your Standing Committee on Rules begs leave to report that it has carefully examined the Journal of the House for the 18th legislative day and finds the same to be correct. Signed, Representative Joe Lovern, Chairman.
Mr. Speaker, I move that the reading of the journal at length for the 18th legislative day be dispensed with.
Any objections? Hearing no objections, read the journal and dispense with. The chair recognizes the gentleman from Mobile, Speaker Pro Tem, for purpose of making announcements.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd remind you that the Capitol Commission Bible study is next Tuesday from 11 a.m. to 11:30 in room 602 next Tuesday. And also the Sportsman's Caucus Breakfast is next Wednesday at 7:30 a.m. at the RSA Plaza.
Mr. Pro Tem, you're further recognized.
Mr. Speaker, I move that when we adjourn today, we leave the journal open to allow the clerk to complete his paperwork, and we reconvene on Tuesday, March the 10th at 1 p.m. next Tuesday.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Motion prevails. Chair recognizes Chairman Klaus for a moment of personal privilege.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We're honored today to have the Boys and Girls Clubs of Alabama, and I just want to read this brief statement on them and then talk about the Boys and Girls Club Member of the Year. Is that what they call it, Marcus? Youth of the Year. But the Boys and Girls Club of America had its beginning in 1860, and they have been in Alabama since 1901 and operate more than 98 sites in Alabama. They serve over 78,000 children ages 6 to 18 every day. They work to enable young people, especially those who need us most, to reach their full potential as productive, caring, and responsible citizens. The clubs keep them on track to graduate from high school with a plan for the future, demonstrating good character, citizenship, and living a healthy lifestyle. And today, the Boys and Girls Club of Alabama announced their 2026 Youth of the Year, and it happens to be from Dale County. This is the second year in a row it's been from Dale County, and just the first time. Last year was the first time since 1984 there had been a Youth of the Year from Southeast Alabama. In 1984, that Youth of the Year was Representative Marcus Paramore. So, that's right. So, right.
My question is, when's he going to grow up, Mr. Chairman?
So
Get out of the youth.
So today we have the 2026 Youth of the Year, Evie Reagan Scott, and she's sitting up in the audience. She'll please stand up. Back in the back there. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Congratulations to you, Evie. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Clerk now receive reports, standing committees, receive those reports throughout the day. The House is now ready to transact business. Let's do bills and resolutions.
Senate Joint Resolution Number 65 by Senator Chambliss, congratulating the Maplesville High School football team on winning the 2025 AHSAA Class 1A State Football Championship.
Move for adoption.
All in favor say aye. Any opposed? It is adopted.
House Resolution Number 190 by Representative Lee, supporting the completion of a statewide workforce transportation needs assessment.
Move for adoption.
All in favor say aye. Any opposed? It is adopted.
House Resolution Number 191 by Representative Reynolds, expressing support for expanding and preserving affordable housing in Alabama via tax credits for investment in low-income housing.
Move for adoption.
All in favor say aye. Any opposed? It is adopted.
House Joint Resolution Number 189 by Representative Holt Jones, supporting additional funding for career and technical education.
Move for adoption.
All in favor say aye. Any opposed? It is adopted.
Senate Joint Resolution Number 66 by Senator Jones, honoring the long-standing partnership between the province of Quebec and the state of Alabama.
Move for adoption.
All in favor say aye. Any opposed? It is adopted. Mr. Clerk, let's do uncontested local bills next.
The calendar, House Bill Number 374 by Representative Ingram, relating to Montgomery County.
Question for the body is the adoption of the BIR. Clerk will unlock machine and the members will vote. Clerk will lock the machine, record the vote. 63 ayes, 0 nays. The BR has been adopted. Question now is final passage of HB 374. Clerk will unlock the machine and the members will vote. Clerk will lock the machine, record the vote. 28 ayes, 0 nays. HB 374 has passed. Clerk, call next bill.
On page 62 of the calendar, House Bill number 430 by Representative Morris relating to Montgomery County.
Question for the body is the adoption of the BIR. Clerk will unlock the machine and the members will vote. Clerk will lock the machine. Record the vote. 58 ayes, 0 nays. The BR has been adopted. Question now is final passage of HB 430. Clerk will unlock the machines and the members will vote. Clerk will lock the machine. Record the vote. 20 ayes, 0 nays. HB 430 has passed. Clerk, call the next bill.
On page 62 of the calendar, House Bill number 447 by Representative Ensler relating to Montgomery County.
Question for the body is the adoption of the BIR. Clerk will unlock the machine and the members will vote. Clerk will lock the machine. Record the vote. 60 ayes, 0 nays. BR has been adopted. Question now is final passage of HB 477. 447. Clerk will unlock the machine and the members will vote. Clerk will lock the machine. Record the vote. 18 ayes, 0 nays. HB 447 has passed. Clerk, call the next bill.
On page 62 of the calendar, House Bill number 451 by Representative McClammy relating to Montgomery County.
Question for the body is the adoption of the BIR. Clerk will unlock the machine and the members will vote. Clerk will lock the machine. Record the vote. 65 ayes, 0 nays. The BR has been adopted. Question now is final passage of 451. Clerk will unlock the machine and the members will vote. Clerk will lock the machine. Record the votes. 28 ayes, 0 nays. HB 451 has passed. Clerk, call next bill.
On page 62 of the calendar, House Bill number 514 by Representative Bolton relating to Tuscaloosa County.
Question for the body is the adoption of the BIR. Clerk will unlock the machine and the members will vote. Clerk will lock the machine. Record the vote. 61 ayes, 0 nays. The BR has been adopted. Question now is passage of HB 514. Clerk will unlock the machine and the members will vote. Clerk will lock the machine. Record the vote. 17 ayes, 0 nays. HB 514 has passed. Clerk, call next bill.
On page 64 of the calendar, Senate Bill number 314 by Senator Orr relating to Morgan County.
Question for the body is the adoption of the BIR. Clerk will unlock the machine. The members vote. Clerk will lock the machine. Record the vote. 59 ayes, 0 nays. The BR has been adopted. Question now is final passage of 314. Clerk will unlock the machine and the members will vote. Clerk will lock the machine. Record the vote. 16 ayes, 0 nays. SB 314 has passed. Clerk, call next bill.
On page 64 of the calendar, House Bill number 508, a constitutional amendment by Representative Butler relating to Etowah County.
Representative Butler, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This is not a tax. This is about, from 50 years ago, an annexation bill that literally states it required a vote of the territory, and nobody really could define what that was. But the goal of this is the city of Boaz is located in two counties, Etowah County and Marshall. And families that live in Etowah County are prohibited at this time from going to the city of Boaz schools. So this is all that does is repeal that at the request of our county commission.
Okay, you heard the gentleman's explanation of the bill. The question for the body is the adoption of the BIR. Clerk will unlock the machine and the members will vote. Clerk will lock the machine. Record the vote. 64 ayes, 0 nays. The BR has been adopted. Question now is final passage of 508. Clerk will unlock the machine and the members will vote. This does require 63 votes. Clerk will lock the machine. Record the votes. We get that quick enough. 63 ayes, 0 nays. HB 508 is passed. Question now is local application. Clerk will unlock the machine and the members will vote. Clerk will lock the machine, record the vote. 39 ayes, 0 nays. HB 508 has passed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and members.
Thank the gentleman. Would like to recognize in the gallery the Alzheimer Association Alabama chapter with the Alzheimer advocate from across the state. Thank you for the work you're doing. Let's give them a big hand for being with us today. Chair recognizes the gentleman from Lee, Chairman Lovern.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I have a resolution.
Clerk, see the resolution.
House Resolution number 201 from the House Rules Committee, the Special Order Calendar.
Move for adoption.
All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? It is adopted.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and members.
Clerk, call first bill on special order calendar.
On page 62 of the calendar, House Bill number 517, with substitute by Representative Lomax, relating to the Talent Readiness and Industry Needs Act.
Representative Lomax, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members, excited to present the TRAIN Act, which is going to create a new mechanism in our state to bring experienced industry professionals directly into the classroom to teach career tech classes. It does this in two ways. First off, it establishes a tax credit that will encourage employers to loan their employees that are otherwise being productive within their companies to teach these classes and make sure the next generation has this proper career tech. The other thing it does is it creates a workforce teaching certificate that makes sure that these teachers are properly certified, trained, and are able to participate in a classroom setting with proper background checks. It's been a great collaboration. The manufacturing community, the Department of Education, the Speaker, and others, as well as the Department of Workforce. So with that, I'd ask for the BIR.
That is question is adoption of the BIR. Clerk will unlock the machine and the members will vote. All the members voted. Clerk will lock the machine, record the vote. 96 ayes, 0 nays. BR has been adopted. Representative Lomax.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. There was a committee sub.
Here to explain your sub, please.
I will. Yeah, there was really three individual things that just made sure that the degree processes was in alignment with how it's currently done. The Department of Revenue had some technical changes, and then the attorney community made sure that there was the liability was in place for these teachers to make sure that no negligence is taking place.
You've heard the gentleman's explanation of the substitute. Clerk will unlock the machine and the members will vote. Clerk will lock the machine, record the vote. 97 ayes, 0 nays. Substitute has been adopted. Representative Lomax.
We do have a floor amendment.
Chair recognizes the lady from Mobile, Representative Warren. Macon, I'm sorry. My glasses are fogged over this morning. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for putting me on the water, okay? We've been working on this a long time and trying to get the credentials straight. And one of the issues has been the pay. Will they be paid on the same regular pay scale, or is there going to be a different pay scale for these specially high-trained people?
They won't be paid by the state at all. Their employer will continue to pay them, and their employer is essentially loaning their expertise to the state. And then in return, that employer receives a tax credit they can use against that employee's salary while they're covering it. So it's really just lending their expertise to our education.
Yeah, because see, that was the issue. You
Yeah.
couldn't afford to pay them to come
Right.
and teach at the rate. So,
Right.
good. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sure, thanks to the lady. Representative Lomax.
Yeah, and we do have this amendment. It essentially is working with the manufacturing community and that liability discussion I had earlier, just making sure that the holder of a workforce teaching certificate shall not be personally liable for acts or omissions undertaken in performance of assigned instruction or supervisory duties.
Clerk, see the amendment.
Amendment 2, House Bill number 517 by Representative Lomax.
Yeah, you heard the gentleman's explanation of the floor amendment. All those in favor? Clerk will unlock the machine and the members will vote. Clerk will lock the machine, record the vote. 103 ayes, 0 nays. The floor amendment has passed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. If there are no further questions, I ask for final passage as substituted and amended.
That is questions. Final passage is a substitute and amendment. Clerk will unlock the machine and the members will vote. Clerk will lock the machine, record the vote. 104 ayes, 0 nays. HB 517 has passed as substituted and amended.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for your efforts in career tech education. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Lomax. Clerk, call next bill.
On page 63 of the calendar, House Bill number 520, with substitute by Representative Paramore, relating to education.
Representative Paramore, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members of the body, this bill 520 deals with a little bit of part of what Representative Lomax just passed, and that's the Career Tech teacher certification. We're streamlining the process, making it a little bit more applicable for people from outside the state to come in and be certified to teach Career Tech. With that, Mr. Speaker, I call for the BIR.
That is questions. The adoption of the BIR. Clerk will unlock the machine. The members will vote. Clerk will lock the machine. Record the vote. 102 ayes, 0 nays. The BIR has been adopted. Representative Paramore.
Mr. Speaker, we do have a substitute.
You care to explain it?
Yes, sir. We are striking on page 2, lines 53 through 58. We're striking items 3 and 4 on that just to make it line up with what the State Department already has in place.
Heard the gentleman's explanation of the substitute. Clerk will unlock the machine. The members will vote. Clerk will lock the machine. Record the vote. 105 ayes, 0 nays. Substitute or amendment has been adopted.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. With that, I ask for final passage of House Bill 520 as substituted.
That is questions. Final passage of 520. Clerk will unlock the machine and the members will vote. Clerk will lock the machine. Record the vote. 102 ayes, 0 nays. HB 520 as substituted has passed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Appreciate your leadership in Career Tech.
Thank you, sir. Let me say something before we go on the next. I certainly appreciate the work on this Career Tech package we're doing, and our staff did a tremendous job, and I think they deserve a round of applause for the work they do. We do not recognize them enough. We appreciate all the staff, not just in my department, but in everybody else's. Mr. Clerk, let's call next bill.
On page 38 of the calendar, House Bill number 420, with substitute by Representative Butler, relating to crimes and offenses.
Representative Butler, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My nephew is a assistant DA in Etowah County, and he pointed out to me the other day that it is a lesser crime to discharge a firearm into an occupied school bus or building than it is a car. But this literally will take it to level it up with the same crime as discharging into an occupied car. It takes it from a Class B felony to a Class A. With that, I move for the BIR.
Chair recognizes the gentleman from Etowah, Representative Gidley. Representative Gidley, before you start, can I do one announcement here? Leadership Shoals, the Shoals area are in our gallery today. Their guests are Representative Underwood, Kill, Yarborough, Pettis, and Harrison. Let's give them a big hand. Thank you for being with us today. Representative Gidley.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Representative, I want you to know I appreciate you bringing this bill. As a former school bus driver for about 10 years, I know the dangers that can exist with you when you have 40 or 50 kids on the back of a school bus. I had no idea there was a lesser charge, as you pointed out. And I think this is absolutely tremendous. Anything we can do to make sure we keep our children safe and work for their safety and protection, and give also things into the hands of our bus drivers and those that support those children. So thank you for bringing this bill. Great piece of legislation.
Thank you. And of course, you know Stephen McGlathry, my nephew.
Yes.
He was researching a crime he was working on, and he discovered this and called me and was just floored that it was a lesser crime to do that. So I appreciate him bringing that to our attention, and I appreciate this body quickly taking care of that.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, gentlemen. The question for the body is the adoption of the BIR. Clerk will unlock the machine and the members will vote.
Yeah.
Clerk will lock the machine, record the vote. 99 ayes, 0 nays. The BIR has been adopted.
We do have a committee sub.
Okay, you care to explain your committee
Yes, sir.
sub?
Office of Prosecution Services pointed out to us that they're having a problem with 18-year-olds committing a crime. In the existing statute, it says if they're under 19 years of age, this does not apply to them. This strikes that language and makes it apply to them.
Yeah, you heard the gentleman's explanation of the sub. Clerk will unlock the machine, and the members will vote. Clerk will lock the machine, record the vote. 100 ayes, 0 nays. Sub has been adopted. Representative Butler.
I would move for final passage, sir.
That is questions final passage of HB 420. Clerk will unlock the machine, and the members will vote. Clerk will lock the machine, record the vote. 98 ayes, 0 nays. HB 420 as substituted has passed.
Thank you, sir.
Thank the gentleman. Clerk, call next bill.
On page 35 of the calendar, House Bill number 452, with substitute by Representative Pringle, relating to income taxes.
Mr. Pro Tem, you're recognized.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. I'm telling you, it doesn't. I got the wrong. Hold a second. Do y'all have the correct amendment to this bill? Not the sub, but the amendment's supposed to be level funding. And the amendment I have doesn't have that on it. They gave me the wrong amendment. Can we go ahead and do the BIR? We do the BIR. Mr. Speaker, this simply is the historic tax credit bill that continues the historic tax credit program we've had in this state for 12 years, I think it is. And with that, I move adoption of the BIR.
That is questions adoption of the BIR. Clerk will unlock the machine. The members will vote. Clerk will lock the machine, record the vote. 101 ayes, 0 nays. The BR has been adopted. Mr. Pro Tem.
Mr. Speaker, I have a substitute that corrects a technical changes that keeps the level funding and remains and continues it for the next 3 years.
Yeah, you heard the gentleman's explanation of the substitute. Clerk will unlock the machine. The members will vote. Clerk will lock the machine, record the vote. 100 ayes, 0 nays. Substitute has been adopted.
Mr. Speaker, there was a clerical error, and this amendment to the substitute simply keeps it at $20 million a year, not $25 million, and maxes it out over the course of this whole program at $300 million. It just makes it the same.
Clerk, receive the floor amendment.
Amendment 2, House Bill number 452 by Representative Pringle.
Okay, you heard the gentleman's explanation of the amendment. Clerk will unlock the machine. The member will vote. Clerk will lock the machine, record the vote. 101 ayes, 0 nays. The amendment has been adopted. Mr. Pro Tem.
Mr. Speaker, I move final passage of HB 52 as substituted and amended.
That is questions final passage of HB 452 as substituted and amended. Clerk will unlock the machine. The members will vote. Clerk will lock the machine, record the vote. 101 ayes, 0 nays. HB 452 has passed as substituted and amended.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank the gentleman. Clerk, call next bill.
On page 48 of the calendar, Senate Bill number 242, with substitute by Senator Bell, relating to driver licenses.
Chairman Klaus.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members, Senate Bill 242 does 3 simple things. It creates the offense of presenting a false foreign CDL as a Class D felony. It codifies federal law, which requires foreign CDL holders to process the proper entry documents to operate a commercial motor vehicle in the state, and provides for state-based fines and impoundment of the vehicle. And it codifies the federal English proficiency requirement of commercial drivers and creates related offenses, including fines and impoundment for violating this provision. So if not any question, I'll ask for the BIR.
Chair recognizes the lady from Jefferson, resident of the van. While she's making her way up here, we'd like to recognize some guests in the gallery from Selma, Dallas County Youth Ambassadors, and from Dallas County. They are the guests of Representative Chestnut. Let's give them a hand for being with us.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Klaus, I missed your dissertation. Is this the bill that deals with CDL license and those individuals who may be of foreign or not naturalized citizens of these here United States of America? Is that bill?
That's right.
Okay. All right. I'm slow, but I'm sure. I just got in here, but you know they say I can always pick right up where I left off. I'm glad my mama sent me to school. But listen, tell me what this bill does, because I've heard a little bit about it, but I need you to tell me, refresh my recollection.
It simply just makes Alabama law the same as what the federal law is right now. So our law enforcement personnel, if they pull somebody over, they don't have to charge them with the federal crime, and that we can charge them with the state law will be the same as the feds.
And that is what?
To make it that where the CDL for presenting a false foreign CDL will be a Class D felony, and requires them to be.
And what is the current law that we have with regards to presenting a false CDL? Now, is this a false CDL? And that's why I like to get the clarity on some of this stuff that you all bring. You know, I watched a member in a committee yesterday, a very seasoned veteran member of this House of Representatives, that brought a bill, and some of my colleagues literally just broke it, cracked it, stripped it from. And I'm always amazed at how you all do that. And when you all come here, most of the time, there are missing parts and components to the legislation that you all bring, but it's law when certain folks bring it versus those who are. And I've said one thing about my colleagues on the opposite side of the aisle, however they feel about me, all of them are learned in their professions with multiple degrees. But it's just the way it works here in this house, and that's okay. But I want to be clear on the language. So are we talking, when you say foreign ID, you're not talking with someone who's just presenting a fake ID, Alabama ID. You're speaking of someone who is from another country that presents an identification from another country.
That is fake.
That is fake. So my question to you is, to tell me how it is determined that it is fake. Is it their picture? Is their social security? Is it their address? I'm just trying to educate myself, because when someone says something is fake, it has to then be authenticated. So I need for you as the trier of fact in this instance to authenticate for me, or tell me that the authentication process that it is determined that it is fake. But because at the traffic stop, if it rings up or pulls up in the system, it will have an identification based upon the number that they are showing. So are these fake United States IDs, or are these fake identifications from the country for which they come from or their native land?
A lot of the problem is that the ID so much is legitimate, but the person having that ID is not that person.
But then the authentication then has to come from the check of the person by way of either a social security number, a combination of a social security number and or DOB, and or, so my question.
They're not going to have a social security number.
Oh, so then how will that officer know that it is fake, other than looking at that person and already assuming, because of that person's nationality, skin tone, ethnicity, that he or she may be a foreign nationalist or somebody from another country versus here in the United States of America? Then therefore there is a target already placed on that person because he or she is not white, Anglo-Saxon American, or even someone who may very well look like me. Now, I'm not necessarily here to defend it one way or another, because at the end of the day, the check should be the check, whether it's under the federal law or whether it is under the state law. I think that we impose a system here that the state can simply say this is a fake ID based upon the fact that you do not have a valid social security number, or I cannot do a proper informed check on your identification. So now, again, I'm not here to ask you all not to do anything. I say that every time I come here. I'm here to reveal what you do, because there is a audience out there somewhere in listening land or watching viewing land that sees this. Again, I'm not here for that purpose. I'm here to reveal what you do and why you do it. So we have a play on words. So this is an attack on those individuals who are considered to be of illegal immigrancy or to be perceived thereof. This is also another way, instead of ICE coming to your door, my friends, this is a way for the police, when they stop you, to say you should not be here, and then you can be charged with, this is a class what?
Class D.
Because my process would be simple. If they are stopped, turn them over to the feds and be through. But that's not, we're now adding an extra layer in here. And let me just say this, and I know my little Latino friends and immigrant friends are going to get mad. But 48% of them voted for Trump. 48% of the Latino immigrant men voted for Trump. 48%. That's a whole lot of votes. 48% of a whole ethnicity in group or race of people. This is facts. So I'm not necessarily I'm just here to simply say there are black people who may look like me that may not be naturalized citizens here in the country. I am very sensitive about these issues only because there was a man who ran for the presidency of the United States of America and had the audacity to say that black Haitians were eating darn dogs and cats, and never came back to correct it. So I understand what y'all doing, but at the end of the day, sometimes what you do also has an impact on other people. And folks can come here and laud this bill and glory, glory, hallelujah, this bill. They do it all the time. They can shout, speak in tongue, and do whatever they want to do. But at the end of the day, the bill is what it is, and it is for the intent of what you all are bringing it for. And every bill no different than the possibility of a bill that would be drafted to say that the driver's license exam should only be in English. Again, I just wanted to get the clarity on it because I wanted to know also what are the steps that are already being taken by ALEA and law enforcement when they stop people. Has something changed that is different that I don't know about that they could, should, or would be doing to assess or ascertain whether or not a person is a foreign nationalist or has an invalid driver's license or what have you. Listen, I know many kids, most of us when we were going to the club back in the day, if you lived anywhere near the hood, you had a fake ID. That was the thing for us to go to Dewberry's and get a fake ID so we could get in Platinum and get into T's and get into French Quarters and Par West. And I had a hallelujah good time, knowing I should have been somewhere at home. Hey, Clouds, hoping Leroy did not see that I was not at home. But my daddy was something serious. But at the end of the day, you know, most college students have gotten away with that, and it's been fun, and now we know better, and when we get older, we do better. But at the end of the day, I want to, again, highlight this bill that it could also bring about an unnecessary targeting of those. So for those who are out there and afraid of ICE, this is another form of ICE that is now going to be implemented here in the state of Alabama. But it's also a warning that, you know, when you're when you're voting, y'all need to be careful about when folks come to you.
This is about highway safety.
And this is not going to stop not one accident. It's not going to change not one thing. I am a CDL licensed driver. I put myself through school driving a truck. I have a Class B CDL commercial driver's license and could have gotten an A license and just wasn't that interested in it. They wanted me to go ahead and get the A, and I just said, forget it. So I'm very familiar with the commercial driver's license. It's not much that I haven't done. I can work on cars. I can fix a flat. I can do all that. I can build. I can construct. I'm an artist. Most of the paintings in my home, I drew and I designed and curated myself. So I'm like I said, it's nothing short on me but my hair. But with that being said, again, I feel that this is a bill, and we understand what it is. It is a bill to further eradicate those who are of foreign descent that you say should not be here in this country. But the realization, unfortunately, is that the black and browns are going to be
Ladies' time has expired. Question for the body is the adoption of the BIR. Clerk will unlock machine and the members will vote. Clerk will lock the machine, record the vote. 87 ayes, 0 nays. BR has been adopted, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, I think we have it's a substitute. Actually, well, it was amendment has been brought into a substitute replacing on, you gonna read it or you want us to? Okay. Replace on line 101, page 4, with the following public document, all official books, papers. Replace lines 117 and through 121 on page 5. The following makes, presents, or uses a public document with knowledge of the falsity of the public document and with the intent that the public document be taken as a genuine public document and represents that a false public document made. Basically, the original bill had public record, and the County Commission Association, to make sure it was clarified, wanted that word record changed to document. So that's what this amendment or would incorporate into this sub.
Okay, you heard the gentleman's explanation of the amendment. Clerk will unlock the machine and the members will vote. Clerk will lock the machine, record the vote. 85 ayes, 0 nays. The amendment has been adopted, Mr. Chairman.
Move for the approval or adoption of Senate Bill 242 as substituted.
That is question is passage of Senate Bill 242. Clerk will unlock the machine and the members will vote. Clerk will lock the machine, record the vote. 84 ayes, 0 nays. SB 242 has passed as substituted.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members
Thank you,
of the
Mr.
body.
Chairman. Clerk, call next bill.
On page 7 of the calendar, House Bill number 273, with substitute by Representative Datcher, relating to municipal employees.
Representative Datcher, recognized.
Good morning, Mr. Speaker. Thank you for the recognition. I think all of us remember where we were the morning of Wednesday, April 27, 2011. It was the largest tornado outbreak in the history of America, 223 tornadoes totally. Of course, the epicenter was the Southeast, Alabama, Mississippi, and Tennessee. Just in Alabama alone, there were 62 tornadoes that day. Of the 316 total deaths across the country, 238 were right here in the state of Alabama. That number is tragic and devastating, but it would have been more had it not been for the bravery of first responders all across the state of Alabama. Firefighters, police officers, public works officials, they literally ran into danger to try to save folks in the middle of that devastation. Just a few years later, thanks to some bipartisan work between Senator Shelby and President Barack Obama, we were able to get millions of dollars of Community Development Block Grant disaster recovery dollars into the state of Alabama. However, an Attorney General's opinion that came with those dollars said that city employees could not benefit from those dollars. So firefighters, police officers, those first responders who risked their lives to save lives could not get their homes repaired. They could not benefit in any way from those dollars. So HB 273 seeks to right that wrong, Mr. Speaker. And we have an amendment that focuses this specifically on first responders. And we had an amendment in the committee that limited specifically to Community Development Block Grant dollars. With that, I would ask for the BRR.
Chair recognizes the gentleman from Lee, Chairman Lovern. Chair recognizes Representative Rigsby, gentleman from Madison.
Thank you, Mr. Representative. As a first responder who worked that day and did run into danger and actually had some fatalities in our area as a volunteer firefighter, thank you for bringing this bill. It is something that needs to be righted. It is probably an oversight that needs to be fixed. First responders of all kinds do need our support every day. And so whatever we can do to support them, we need to get behind that and do that. So if this fixes that wrong, I support it. Thank you for bringing it.
Thank you.
Chair thanks the gentleman. Chair recognizes the lady from Jefferson, Representative Van. While she's making her way down here, we have some guests in the gallery. The district attorneys from St. Clair, Elmore, Otaga, Chilton, Fayette, Lamar, Pickens, and Winston County. I guess.
Thank you, Representative.
And they are the guests of Robinson, Harmon, and Slayton. Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. First of all, anytime someone brings something relative to the storms, and especially of 2011, 98, and others, I live in an area near Tornado Alley in the Pratt community, which is always one of the most devastated areas for storms, especially in the city of Birmingham. I remember the night when the storm hit here in 2011. We were debating an occupational tax bill. John Merrill was in the House then, and we had, of course, a different Speaker of the House at the time. And a part of that discussion relative to the occupational tax bill, we used and joked off, and we had the bill carried over as a joke that the weather was getting bad, only to get to our hotel rooms after a reception to find out that what we thought was a joke was our reality. I left here that morning because they wouldn't let us out until the next day, those who had hard-hit areas. And in getting to Birmingham, I'll never forget the state troopers that were there that had the area of Pratt barricaded off. I'll never forget taking that walk with Alan Treadaway and Paul DeMarco, who came to see about me and that district, because I had barely been a legislator, really just a little bit over 100 days. I remember Representative Mary Moore, who came to see about me in the midst of the area where she represents in North Smithfield Manor being totally obliterated in many areas. And so it's very sensitive for me when any piece of legislation comes, because the storm of 98, I lost 5 close family members, very, very close. Family members that I had gone to church with, were close with my mom, and just out of one household. I'm also that little girl that in 1970 plus, one of my mother's friends' babies were killed and found up in a tree in Pratt because of one of the storms. So anything relative to these storms is sensitive to me because I've lived it. And in 2011, when I said to the then governor that I did not want Pratt City to be like Hurricane Katrina, because it is an area that was highly populated with more blacks versus those that are Anglo-Saxon white and with a lesser social economic status in that area. And I said that day that I did not want that moment that we had with Katrina. And at that point, a lot of looting, items were being taken. But to sum it up, it was the first responders who stood in the gap, the first responders who continued to stand in the gap until the National Guard came that night. I was thankful then to the leadership for hearing my cause as a wet around the ears legislator that had to have 3 or 4 other legislators to come to see about me to help me navigate a process of working with FEMA, to navigate the process of trying to get the help, to navigate the process of command stations, to navigate the process of seeing houses that I frequented, family, friends, godparents, those that I consider sisters and brothers who say on those days that they took cover only to take cover with their hands up to their face to wake up to nothing but the sky because every room in their house had been obliterated. But also, most importantly, to say that had it not been for the first responders, and had I not walked those sites time and time again with law enforcement, looking for bodies in the rubble, making sure that we did not miss anyone, that we went beyond a rescue to a recovery. So with that being said, I am thankful that we are able to bring this. I'm hesitant about this legislation because there are some issues that could be raised, whether there are some ethical divides here, but that's not for me to argue here. It is for me to stand and to support those who are first responders on any level that I can as a leader. Because regardless of what you feel, even those who say defund the police, even those who are angry at most times with municipal government, I've seen the hardest of criminals when they get in trouble, when they are in an accident or when they're injured, the first thing they do is call the popo. So regardless of whatever you say, you need law enforcement. You may not like them, but you need them.
That's right.
And I don't want to live in a world without them, period. Whether I agree with them on legal premises sometimes in court or not, at the end of the day, their duty is to protect and serve. Firefighters put their lives on the line. In some areas, all they have are firefighters or volunteer firefighters who literally have to put their own lives on the line to protect us and to make sure that we are safe. And also if there is a rescue versus a recovery or a recovery versus a rescue. And unfortunately, life sometimes breeds recovery. But with that being said, whatever we can do to help them, and especially in the area that I represent, in House District 60, is simple. Around this time of year, and I said it last night, I say my prayers a little bit longer and a little bit harder. And I plead the blood of Jesus over a district that I represent. Why? Because it is a tornado alley. Why? Because we are in tornado season. Why? Because it has not hit since 2011. So it's not a matter of if a tornado will come back through and F5 will come back through Pratt. It is not a matter of whether or not a F5 will come back through Smithfield Estate or come back through North Smithfield Manor. It's a matter of when. And I want our win to be the WHEN in it, so we can get to a WIN to make sure that we are prepared. That is why I work to get 2 storm shelters in that area within a certain range, because the devastation is so great in the Pratt community. So I want to say thank you for bringing this legislation, but I also just stood to rise to say thank you to those who stand in the gap to save our lives. And as I close, I said this in the city of Adamsville just a few weeks ago. The mayor there, who does have favor in me in the district, asked me to do something that had never been done, and that was to speak at a State of the State by a mayor. And I did, in these words I said. I looked through the back of the room and I saw the chief there, and they have an outstanding chief, fire chief, who really is a multitasker. And I said, as he stood there, he stood next to his black brothers. He stood next to his white brothers. He stood next to females who also wore the uniform. But when you have a job to do that is about saving the lives of the people, it doesn't matter if you're male, it doesn't matter if you're old, it doesn't matter if you're young, doesn't matter if you're black or white, Latino, or any other difference. It matters that you're there for one purpose and one purpose only, to be a band of brothers and sisters in a fraternity, in a job that you have the responsibility of a greater good and greater cause and something bigger than yourself. And that is the saving of the life, or possible saving or aiding of the life of another. So I wanted to rise to say that, and I think that we need to do more for our law enforcement. We need to do more for our fire department. I know Representative Treadaway passed the bill the other day dealing with the tuitions. I think we need that same bill for our firefighters and those first responders as others. So I want to commend you for the effort to bring this bill. Hopefully it will get out of Senate land as we're getting closer to sine die, but I just want to rise and say those thoughts, because again, it brings back so many memories this time of year, because I've lost so many people over the years to these devastating storms. And even since I was a little girl, I could still remember my mother coming in, speaking about the baby in the tree in the Smithfield Estate community. And so imagine me hearing that as a little girl and then living it for so many years in a district that is a known F5, not an F3, not an F2, but every time an F4 or 5 tornado alley. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to speak. Thank you.
Thank the lady. Question for the body is the adoption of the BIR. Clerk will unlock machine and the members will vote. Clerk will lock the machine, record the vote. 83 ayes, 7 nays. BR has been adopted. President Datcher.
Sub, when you adopt the sub.
Okay, tell me what the sub's about.
The sub was in committee. It was thanks to our chairperson of the committee. What is his name? Jesus. Ingram. Where's Reed? We were able to do one thing. We narrowed the grants down from all other grants only to community development block grant dollars, because those dollars have tremendous rigorous scrutiny attached to them to make sure that everything is above board and how they're spent.
Okay, you heard the gentleman's explanation of the substitute. Clerk will unlock the machine and the members will vote.
I love your reading them.
Clerk will lock the machine, record the vote. 92 ayes, 5 nays. Substitute has been adopted. President Datcher.
I think we have a floor amendment from Representative Jones.
Chair recognizes the gentleman from Mobile, Representative Jones.
Thanks for the recognition, Mr. Speaker. Gentleman yield.
Yes, sir.
I have an amendment.
Clerk, see the amendment.
Amendment 2, House Bill number 273 by Representative Jones.
Representative Jones, you care to explain your amendment, please?
This is an amendment to bring further clarity to sections of the bill. And the amendment reads, replace line 26 on page 1 with the following. Notwithstanding subsection A first responder employed by the municipalities if. The next part of the amendment is replace line 30 on page 2 with the following. The benefit to the first responder is similar and in a. The next amendment is replace line 32 on page 2 with the following. The first responder does not have any decision-making authority. And replace line 35 on page 2 with the following. Any public official as defined in section 3625(1) or any family member of a public official as defined in section 3625(1). That is the amendment.
Okay, the gentleman's explained this amendment. How does the sponsor receive it?
Friendly.
Okay, you've heard the explanation, and the sponsor receives as a friendly amendment. Chair recognizes the lady from Madison to speak on the amendment. Representative Hall.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I think I followed you all the way to the last. To the last one. Because on the first page on line 26, you're adding the first respondent in front of employee, in front of the word employee. Is that what's happening there? We're replacing employee to respondent, first respondent employee. Is that what I'm reading?
Yes.
Okay, so I followed all the way through to that. And at the end, the section 36.5, that part, what do you know what that area covers?
As defined in the 3625(1) of the Act, what it does, it covers the public officials as defined by the present law.
Okay, so okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. I just need to make sure.
Chair thanks the lady. Question for the body now is the adoption of the floor sub. Clerk will unlock the machine and the members will vote. Clerk will lock the machine, record the vote. 96 ayes, 0 nays. Floor sub amendment has been adopted.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank the gentleman.
Mr. Speaker, I move for final passage.
That is questions. Final passage of HB 273. Clerk will unlock the machine and the members will vote. Clerk will lock the machine, record the vote. 83 ayes, 15 nays, HB 273 has passed.
Mr. Speaker, can I say one thing real quick?
Yes.
I would like to congratulate House District 60 on the arrival of the United States Coast Guard at the former Birmingham Southern campus.
Clerk, call next bill.
On page 36 of the calendar, House Bill number 312 with substitute by Representative Hill relating to district attorneys.
Chairman Hill, you're recognized.
Mr. Speaker, thanks a lot. I appreciate the recognition. And before I get started, ladies and gentlemen, let me point out a few things to you real quick. It's very interesting to me that I got 4 DAs here today. Of course, I've got Trish. We got Trish Melbourne, who's head of OPS. Where are my DAs? Oh, they're hidden behind the big pillow, which is appropriate. I want to tell y'all, I've worked with DA C.J. Robertson on many things before, and he's a dear friend. But it's interesting. Andy, where's Andy? Andy, my dad is from Sulligent, Alabama. If you know any Gilmers or Hill in Sulligent, Alabama, that's my family, so be nice to them. Scott, where's Scott? Hey, Scott, my mom is from Hackleburg. All of her family's from Hamilton. So Scott, when you start dealing with my buddies, my family, John Bentley is married to my cousin Judy, who is her family's the pharmacist up there in Hamilton. So you know a bunch of my family. And finally, the last one I want to recognize is my dear friend Lyle Harmon. Where's Lyle? Lyle's my DA. Lyle is my DA, and a close, personal, dear friend who I have known for years. And I hate to tell this to the rest of you guys, but he's the finest DA in the state of Alabama. President of the DA's Association.
Chairman Hill, I think we'd like to do the BIR right now, really, to be honest with you.
Okay, Mr. Speaker, I'd like the BIR.
Question for the body's adoption of the BIR. Anybody? All in favor say aye, right? Yeah. Clerk unlock the machine and the members vote.
Okay. I've been out 3 weeks, y'all. You got to give me a little grace.
We thought you wasn't running back. It sounded like you was campaigning to me.
I am for Lyle. Okay, ladies and gentlemen.
Clerk will lock the machine, record the vote. 95 ayes, 0 nays. BR has been adopted. Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir. Mr. Speaker, here's what this bill does is this bill allows us to get the DAs 75% of their pay in 18 years. It has a 5-year look back. They can't retire till they're 62. Here's the big problem I see with our DA's retirement bill now, is that unless you're in ADA, you're going to have a lot of problems transferring into being the district attorney because of a 25-year retirement situation, and we are losing the opportunity to elect a lot of good people. And that's it, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, I think you got a committee sub. I'd like to hear what it's about.
Yes, sir. That is.
That's it? Okay.
Yes, sir. I'm sorry, Mr. Speaker.
No, that's fine. So we want to talk on the sub or the bill? The bill? Okay. Question for the body's adoption of the sub. Clerk unlock the machine. Members will vote. Clerk will lock the machine, record the vote. 99 ayes, 0 nays. Substitute has been adopted, Mr. Chairman.
And the truth is, I think, Mr. Speaker, I've rattled on long enough to explain it, and I appreciate you.
The chair recognizes the gentleman from Jefferson, Representative Tillman.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Gentlemen, will you yield?
Yes, sir.
Well, I want to say to all of those fine DAs that you just mentioned, that I support this bill. So I think you guys need to remember that as well, Judge, right?
Spoken like a true defense attorney.
Exactly. So I wanted that to be on the record so they know I support this bill.
I think you
And
got it
also-
on the record, Ontario.
Okay, that's great. And also, I would disagree. Well, I'm not going to disagree, but I would say DA Lenise Washington in District 56 is defined as one. Thank you.
I tell you what, they can be
Chair
separate.
thanks the gentleman. Chair recognizes the lady from Jefferson, resident of Van.
Since the
I know.
chairman started opening up an envelope and was trying to deliver a good letter, let me just simply say, I represent House District 60 that is in Jefferson County, and I know for 100% fact that Danny Carr is the best district attorney in the state of Alabama. Can I get an amen from those from Jefferson County? Thank you very much.
Hey, Mr. Van, I know him. You're close to right.
Question for the body is final passage of HB 312 as substituted. Clerk will unlock the machine and the members will vote. Clerk will lock the machine. Record the vote. 100 ayes, 0 nays. HB 312 is passed as substituted.
Thanks. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I really believe this strengthens our district attorneys because we want to entice good lawyers to take a job where they're all going to lose money when they take this job. It's a good deal.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Clerk, call the next bill.
On page 40 of the calendar, House Bill number 407 with substitute by Representative DuBose relating to state government.
Representative DuBose, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I am here today to present HB 407, which designates Miss Alabama as an official state ambassador. And today we have Miss Alabama actually in our audience. I'd like to recognize Emma Terry, who many of you all have had an opportunity to meet. And y'all know this Miss Alabama organization is the one that leads into Miss America, and it has been prominent in our state since 1921. And this organization provides scholarship funds for higher education to young women in the state of Alabama. These young ladies represent the best of Alabama, talented, intelligent, poised, articulate, and with a heart for service. Each one of them has a platform for a philanthropy or a service project. Their year of service as Miss Alabama is full-time role. They are not enrolled in school or employed. So we thought this would be a perfect opportunity, mutually beneficial for our state and for our reigning Miss Alabama to partner with the state to act as a hostess or a goodwill ambassador and represent the state when invited to events or ceremonies. With that, Mr. Speaker, I'd like to move for the BIR.
Question for the body is adoption of the BIR. Clerk will unlock the machine and the members will vote. Clerk will lock the machine and record the vote. 102 ayes, 0 nays. The BIR has been adopted. Representative DuBose.
Mr. Speaker, I move for final passage.
I thought you was going to call me Miss Alabama there for a minute. So we got a substitute, I see.
I want to speak.
Oh, yes. Yes, the substitute, we changed it from the official ambassador to an official Alabama ambassador.
The explanation of the substitute. Clerk will unlock the machine and the members will vote. Clerk will lock the machine and record the vote. 102 ayes, 0 nays. Substitute has been adopted. Representative DuBose.
Yes, and with that, Mr. Speaker, I move for final passage.
Chair recognizes the gentleman from St. Clair.
You know, Susan, you may have just met Miss Alabama. I helped raise her. Her mother is a dear friend of mine. Her mother grew up in St. Clair County. She's a Simpson. Her family's from St. Clair County. I just want y'all to know something. If you hadn't had a chance to see Emma, she's beautiful. She's just as pretty as her mother. In our area, it's interesting. Paige Phillips was Miss Alabama. Laurie Brazier was Miss Alabama. Emma Terry is now Miss Alabama. What I'm telling you folks is these are just typical girls from that part of St. Clair County. We're glad to have them. Emma, we're so proud of you. Thank you, Susan.
Thank you. Thank you.
You recognize the lady from Jefferson, Representative Van.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise today to simply, I have no problem with the legislation. And Miss Alabama being the official spokesperson or what have you for the state of Alabama. I have had the opportunity to meet Emma, and some kind of way she finds me when she's in this building. I don't know if it's my fashion and my sense of style or the fact that I was once a beauty queen myself. And so with that being said, I appreciate her, and I did share with Representative Moore. I said, you know, you have an opportunity to meet some of the Miss Alabamas as they come through, but I don't know if I've met a nicer Miss Alabama in most recent years than Emma. So I have no problem with the legislation. I appreciate you bringing it. And I also now appreciate the fact that we have an official face of the state outside of just the governor of the state of Alabama to represent the state of Alabama. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Representative. Thank you.
Sure, thanks, lady. You recognize the lady from Mobile, Representative Clark.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Several people asked me, Representative Dubose, as I was coming down, if I'm a former beauty queen. Definitely not.
I would have asked
Definitely
the same
not.
question.
I read this bill with interest some weeks ago, and I was concerned about how much we're expecting of this young lady. Is there a limit? I think you said in the bill that any of the departments within the state could give her places to go, things to do.
I mean, it's totally voluntary on both sides, and Miss Alabama has a schedule of events, and she would have to be able to put it in on her schedule, and she would have to say yes. She would not be required to say yes.
So she
State
can
could
say no, that
yes,
she's
and
unavailable.
The state's not required to invite her. It's just mutual invitation and acceptance.
Okay, I was concerned about that.
Yeah, that's a good point. Thank you.
My other point is that I think we should pay her. I think we should pay her. If we have such high expectations of her, I think we should pay her.
Well, I don't think she would be opposed to that. I personally have not included that in this bill, and it may be something we can consider for the future.
If I go over there and work up an amendment, will you accept it as a friendly amendment?
I don't think I'm ready to accept that today. I'd like this to pass it as it is, but I would consider that in the future. We'll have to.
Emma,
run
where
that
are
through
you?
The,
I'm trying, Emma. I think you deserve to be paid. Thank you for your service to our state.
I don't disagree.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sure, thanks, the lady. She might lose her amateur status if she did that, right? So. Question for the body now is passage of HB 407. Clerk will unlock the machine and the members will vote. Clerk will lock the machine, record the vote, 105 ayes, 0 nays. HB 407 is substitute as passed. Congratulations.
Thank you, members.
Thank you for being with us today.
Congratulations, Miss Alabama.
Clerk, call next bill.
On page 53 of the calendar, Senate Bill number 249 by Senator Barfoot, relating to license plates.
Representative Wharton, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. SB 249 is the companion bill for HB 253. That's a distinctive tag for firefighters. We passed it out here a couple weeks ago. So if there's no questions, I would ask for the BIR.
That is questions, adoption of the BIR. Clerk will unlock the machine and the members will vote. Clerk will lock the machine, record the vote. 103 ayes, 0 nays. BR has been adopted. Representative Wharton.
Mr. Speaker, I ask for final passage.
That is questions, final passage of SB 249. Clerk will unlock the machine and the members will vote. Clerk will lock the machine, record the votes. 102 ayes, 0 nays. SB 249 has passed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, body. It's about
Thank the
time.
gentleman. Clerk, call the next bill.
On page 17 of the calendar, House Bill number 264 by Representative Robbins relating to wills and estates.
Representative Robbins, you're recognized.
Thank you, Speaker. What this bill does basically is if you are a probate court that has equity jurisdiction, you do not lose that jurisdiction if if it's appealed to a circuit court case or appealed to a circuit court. With that, I move for the BIR.
Chair recognizes the lady from Madison, Representative Hall.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Would the gentleman yield?
Of course.
Help me to understand because you were speaking softly, so I'm not sure I understood what you said.
So if a probate court has equity jurisdiction, so not all probate courts have equity jurisdiction.
And tell me what is equity jurisdiction?
Well, those are deciding matters like an equitable decision, not a decision like a monetary amount on a personal injury or something. So if it's an estate and there's an issue concerning, let's say, property, for instance.
So you're balancing out the...
Right. So you're balancing who gets equity between the parties. So if you were to move, so you have the right in a probate court to move it to circuit court. So, but what we're saying is, and this is an ALI bill, so this was brought to us by ALI.
No problem.
Probate judges say this makes sense, and the circuit judges do, that if you are only appealing about a certain issue, you don't have to take the whole probate file to circuit court. And if they already have equity jurisdiction, you can leave the equity matter with the probate court. Where before, you had to move everything to to circuit court.
Okay. So the case can be based on...
So you could so if you have one issue, and let's say you move it to circuit court, the circuit court can decide that and then move it back to probate court, and probate court would have never lost that equity part. Whereas now, if it'd have to take all of it, and it'd even have to decide on the equity matters as well and everything.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Question for the body is the adoption of the BIR. Clerk will unlock the machine. The members will vote. Clerk will lock the machine. Record the vote. 103 ayes, 0 nays. The BIR has been adopted.
And Speaker, I move to substitute HB 4264 with SB 195.
What you heard the gentleman's recommendation. All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? It has been substituted.
And so I move for the BIR.
That is correct.
SB 195.
Question for the body's adoption of the BIR. Clerk will unlock the machine. The members will vote. Clerk will lock the machine. Record the vote. 104 ayes, 0 nays. The BIR has been adopted. Representative Robbins.
I move for final passage.
That is questions final passage of SB 195. Clerk will unlock the machine and the members will vote. Clerk will lock the machine. Record the vote. 105 ayes, 0 nays. SB 195 has passed.
Thank you, Speaker. Thank you, body.
Thank the gentleman. Clerk, call the next bill.
On page 56 of the calendar, House Bill number 405 by Representative Bracey relating to crimes and offenses.
Representative Bracey, you recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. HB 405 is a bill that it's called a bail jumping bill. If a person commits the crime of third-degree bail jumping, if they violate any conditions of the court order of electronic monitoring after lawful release, and the penalty for bail jumping in this case will be a Class C misdemeanor. What happened in this case is in Mobile County, we've had a situation where if a person was on electronic monitoring and they go out, the sheriff did not have the authority to go out and pick them up without going in, filing motions, going through the court system, then having the opportunity to pick them up. What happened in our county was a person was out, they violated their electronic monitoring. They committed murder while they were out. People knew they were out, but they didn't have the authority to go and actually pick them up. So this bill is to be brought by our sheriff in Mobile County and also our presiding judge. So if it's no questions, I move the BIR.
You recognize the gentleman from Montgomery, Representative Ingram.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Gentleman yield. This is a great bill. I appreciate you bringing it.
Yes,
and it's something that we should have done a long time ago. But thank you for your hard work on it.
Thanks, Representative Ingram.
Chair thanks the gentleman. Question for the body is the adoption of the BIR. Clerk will unlock the machine and the members will vote. Clerk will lock the machine. Recorded vote. 104 ayes, 0 nays. The BIR has been adopted.
Vote Chris.
Representative.
Yes, sir. I move final passage.
That is questions final passage of HB 405. Clerk will unlock the machine and the members will vote. Clerk will lock the machine. Recorded vote. 105 ayes, 0 nays. HB 405 has passed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and the body.
Thank the gentleman. Clerk, call the next bill.
On page 39 of the calendar, Senate Bill number 231 with substitute by Senator Gavan relating to security.
Pro Tem Pringle, you're recognized.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, move to carry this bill over. Okay. What? At the call of the chair.
All in favor say aye. Any opposed? The bill has been carried over. Clerk, call the next bill.
On page 41 of the calendar, Senate Bill number 196 by Senator Livingston relating to competitive bidding.
Representative Shaw, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This bill moves the purchase of playground equipment from the Public Works bidding law to Title 16 and Title 41, which allows playground equipment, the installation to be included with the purchase of the equipment, required for things like insurance and the warranty. So I'd move for the adoption of the BIR.
Next question is adoption of the BIR. Clerk will unlock the machine and the members will vote. Clerk will lock the machine. Record the vote. 101 ayes, 0 nays. The BIR has been adopted. Representative Shaw.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd move for final passage.
Next question is final passage of HB 196. Clerk will unlock the machine and the members will vote. Clerk will lock the machine. Record the vote. 101 ayes, 0 nays. SB 196 has passed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Shaw. Clerk, call the next bill.
On page 43 of the calendar, Senate Bill number 160 by Senator Wood relating to athletic trainers.
Representative Gray, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This bill creates a interstate compact for athletic trainers, creating uniformity across licensing. I ask for the BR.
That's the question is adoption of the BIR. Clerk will unlock the machine and the members will vote. Clerk will lock the machine. Record the vote. 105 ayes, 0 nays. The BR has been adopted. Representative Gray.
And I ask for final passage.
That is questions final passage of SB 160. Clerk will unlock the machine and the members will vote. Clerk will lock the machine. Record the vote. 105 ayes, 0 nays. SB 160 has passed.
All right, thank you.
Thank the gentleman. Clerk, call next bill.
On page 47 of the calendar, Senate Bill number 205 by Senator Allen relating to the Underground Damage Prevention Program.
Chairman Klaus, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members, Senate Bill 205 strengthens Alabama's underground damage prevention program. That's the 811 program that you call before you dig, and it addresses gaps in coordination for large-scale construction projects and timely locate requests or responses for things like the broadband and infrastructure dollars. So if no further questions, I'd ask for the BIR.
You heard the gentleman's explanation of the bill. The question for the body now is the adoption of the BIR. Clerk will unlock the machine and the members will vote. Clerk will lock the machine, record the vote. 105 ayes, 0 nays. The BR has been adopted. Mr. Chairman.
John, is there? Okay. It was incorporated in the sense of, I'd ask for the adoption of Senate Bill 205.
That is the question. Is final passage of Senate Bill 205. Clerk will unlock the machine and the members will vote. Clerk will lock the machine, record the vote. 105 ayes, 0 nays. SB 205 has passed.
Thank you, Speaker, members of the body.
Thank you, gentlemen. Clerk, call next bill.
On page 52 of the calendar, House Bill number 438 by Representative Faulkner relating to income tax.
Representative Faulkner, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members, this would reinstate the income tax refund checkoff for victims of crime, and leniency, as we know, is vocal. And with that, I'd move for the BIR.
As questions, adoption of the BIR. Clerk will unlock the machine and the members will vote. Clerk will lock the machine, record the vote. 103 ayes, 0 nays. BR has been adopted. Representative Faulkner.
Speaker, I move for final passage.
Chair recognizes the gentleman from Dallas. Representative Chestnut.
Does the gentleman yield?
Yes, sir.
You know I can't let you pass it that easily. Just had a question, not pertaining to the bill, but is that a red dot on your forehead?
It is.
Are you?
I'm not sure this is germane to this bill.
Okay.
I'm not either, Mr. Speaker.
I'm sorry, Speaker. I'm just ripping him. I told him I would come up and do this, so it's all in light fun. But I support this bill, and we'll be in touch. I'm not going to do that noise. Thank you.
Question for the body is final passage of HB 438. Clerk will unlock the machine and the members will vote. Clerk will lock the machine, record the vote. 105 yeas, 0 nays. HB 438 is passed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, members, except for Representative Chestnut.
Thank you. I have a special guest in the gallery. It's Jack Tojo, and he is from Atmore, and he is the guest of Representative Reed Ingram, a cattleman and a farmer in Alabama. Let's give them a big hand. Thank you for being with us today. Clerk, call next bill.
On page 49 of the calendar, House Bill number 477 by Representative Lomax relating to the Alabama Workforce Board.
Representative Lomax, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Body, back in 2024, we passed the Workforce Transformation Act, which created the Alabama Workforce Board and the regional boards across the state. After being in operation for this time period, they want to add more industry members to bring in different industries to their boards. So this bill simply adds 5 members to the state board and 5 members to the regional boards, as well as allows for them to have virtual participation in meetings. So with that, I ask for the BIR.
That is questions. Adoption of the BR. Clerk will unlock the machine and the members will vote. Clerk will lock the machine, record the vote. 100 ayes, 0 nays. The BR has been adopted. Representative Lomax.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. With no further questions, I ask for final passage.
That is questions. Final passage of HB 477. Clerk will unlock the machine and the members will vote. Clerk will lock the machine, record the vote. 103 ayes, 0 nays. HB 477 has passed.
Thank you, members, Speaker, and Department of Workforce.
Thank you, gentlemen. It's certainly a pleasure to have former Representative Mike Dean here with us today. Let's give him a big hand. Thank you for being with us, Mike. Mr. Clerk, let's call up Senate Bill 231.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the security bill for our new building, and the substitute expands it from Capitol Complex to Capitol Area, so it'll include the parking deck and the area immediately around the Capitol and the buildings which we're in, so we can have better security. With that, I move adoption of the BIR.
Question for the body is the adoption of the BIR. Clerk will unlock the machine. The members will vote. Clerk will lock the machine. Record the vote. 104 ayes, 0 nays. The BIR has been adopted. You heard the gentleman's explanation of the substitute. Clerk will unlock the machine. The members will vote. Clerk will lock the machine. Record the vote. 103 ayes, 0 nays. Substitute has been adopted. Clerk, see a floor amendment from Pro Tem, please.
Ladies and gentlemen, what happened, Aaliyah brought to our attention somebody was flying a drone over the buildings, and they posted it on Facebook. So this amendment makes it illegal to fly a drone over our properties unless the Legislative Council authorizes the use of a drone. You can't just show up and start flying around our buildings.
Yeah, you heard the gentleman's explanation of the floor amendment. Clerk will unlock the machine and the members will vote. Clerk will lock the machine. Record the votes. 104 ayes, 0 nays. Floor amendment has been adopted. Mr. Pro Tem.
Mr. Speaker, I move final passage as substituted and amended.
That is the question. Final passage, substituted and amended. Clerk will unlock the machine and the members will vote. Clerk will lock the machine. Record the vote. 104 ayes, 0 nays. SB 231 has passed as substituted.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Chair recognizes the lady from Jefferson for a moment of personal privilege.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise today, members, if you all would just for a moment allow me these words. I rise today to simply say thank you to Senator Katie Britt and to Senator Tuberville, as well as those in the Trump administration. On yesterday, the United States Department of Homeland Security announced that the Birmingham Southern site campus, which has sat dormant now for almost 2 years, will become the home for a 1,000 plus person, 400 plus staff agency under the United States Coast Guard here in the state of Alabama, in the city of Birmingham, also in the heart of House District 60. I wanted to take this opportunity to personally thank them because Birmingham Southern has and was one of the most storied institutions here in the state of Alabama. We passed a few years ago the Distressed Institutions Bill, but we still could not save the institution. So I would ask each of you to join me as I thank Senator Tuberville and Senator Britt, and as well as Secretary Noem and the Trump administration for making this decision to send the United States Coast Guard training facility to the city of Birmingham. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Clerk, let's call up HB 493 out of the basket, please. Representative Halsey.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This bill is coming back to us, and I just want to vote to concur with the change that was made.
Yeah, you care to explain your changes,
Yeah, it
please?
was a technical amendment that we just missed.
Okay. Chair recognizes the lady from Madison, Representative Hall.
Thank you. Would the lady yield?
Yes, ma'am.
Could you please tell me exactly what that technical change
Yes, ma'am.
was?
It just fixed our code, or the part of the bill that it didn't mirror federal law, and we just needed to make it mirror federal law
And what
correctly.
was that?
I do not have that up here with me, and I'm so
They
sorry.
should have that available to you. Thank you.
So it's just replacing line 809 through 815, and it says of any characteristic protected by federal law.
Any characteristics?
Characteristic protected by federal law.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Chair thanks the lady. The lady wishes to concur to the amendment in the Senate. Clerk will unlock the machine. The members will vote. Clerk will lock the machine. Record the vote. 102 ayes, 0 nays. The amendment has been concurred.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank the lady.
Thank you, body.
Chair recognizes the gentleman from Mobile, Pro Tem Pringle, for purpose of note.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Having previously agreed to meet on Tuesday, March 10th at 1 p.m., I move the House stand in adjournment.
All in favor say aye. Any opposed? We are adjourned.